How can you stay in a six-pack lean shape all year long for decades and basically for the rest of your life while eating pizza, ice creams, hamburgers, whatever, having some beer, whatever it is that you want, you can eat while staying lean. Exactly how to do that, that's what we're gonna cover in this video. But before we go there, click the subscribe button below, because on this channel, you're gonna learn how to build the seven-figure body, the strong, sexy, high-performing physique as a successful entrepreneur without starvation, cardio, and without giving up carbs. What's up, everybody? This is Coach Amir from sevenfigurebody.com, and in this video, we're gonna talk about how to get jacked and stay jacked for the rest of your life while eating, pizzas, ice cream, desserts, burgers, having some beers, whatever else you want. Now, a lot of times you can see some, guys who are like massive and jacked and, have like these, like awesome physiques, and they tell you that they're eating ice creams and whatever, pizzas, and then people either don't believe them or they're like, well, there's some kind of trickery there. Well, guys, this is true. It is 100% doable. And here's exactly how. Basically, for example, if we take me, I'm 6'2", I weigh 220 to 225, and I lost weight like more than 20 years ago when I was a fat kid. I lost the weight and then built muscle, and then I basically stay around 11 to 12% body fat, meaning six-pack lean, since then. So it's been, I don't know, close to 20 years, and I basically eat everything I want, like literally everything. A lot of times if people watch, my Facebook or, some pictures that I post, online in general, it's always either some kind of dessert, pancakes. I love pizza a lot. Like we have some amazing food in Bosnia here, in Europe where I'm currently stationed. We have like really, really amazing high calorie, high carb, like high fat foods that one would think is impossible to eat if you want to stay lean. It is not impossible. So here's the exact process that you need to go through in order to make this happen. Number one, the most important one, you have to know what your calorie intake should be. You have to be aware of how much you're eating calorie-wise and what your macros are. So how many protein grams, how many fat grams, how many carbs grams you're eating. Now, the best way, I've talked about this a million times, the best way to do this is you need to start tracking. The best thing you can do to lose weight, even if you don't want to lose weight, start tracking what you eat for a couple of weeks. You do not have to do this for the rest of your life. I have not tracked food for probably 15 years. Probably 2006 or 7 was the last time when I tracked my food. I never track it. But how does it work then? You track food for long enough. This can be a couple of weeks, couple of months, however long you prefer. And then you learn to guesstimate the amount of calories that you eat without tracking them. And then that's it. Like you have that calculation in the back of your brain. It becomes second nature and you know exactly how much you're eating. Okay. So that's number one. You need to in some way control the calories that you're eating. Both while you're losing weight, certainly you've got to be in a deficit when you're losing body fat. And later on, remember, you're at maintenance for the rest of your life. Like once you get to the physique you want, that's it. You just got to maintain that amount of calories. And by the way, maintenance is obviously much higher intake than being in a deficit, meaning it's much easier to be at maintenance. Okay. Number two is you got to build a decent amount of muscle relative to your personal natural muscular potential. So we calculate, when I start working with a client, we first calculate, exactly where they are right now, body fat percentage wise, where do they want to go? Most men will be like, okay, I want to get six-pack lean. Okay, so we got to get to 11, 12% body fat. So most men are probably 25-ish. So we got to lose, 13, 14% of your weight. So if you're 200 pounds, 13 times 2 is 26. So most men are like 20 to 30 pounds most. Again, this does not mean you could be lower or higher, you certainly can, but most men are about 20 to 30 pounds of actual body fat away from being six-pack lean. Okay, so that's the first thing. Number two is build that amount of muscle. Okay, so we need to figure out, we calculate how much muscle you can naturally build. There are calculators, we can put your stats, circumference of your wrist and ankle and a bunch of other things, and we figure out how many pounds of muscle you can build, and then what is the time frame for that. Remember, guys, just the general rule, I talked about this on a channel a lot of times. It takes about 4 to 5 years from scratch, from a complete beginner, about 4 to 5 years to build as much muscle as you can, and you can build about 40 to 50 pounds of actual lean muscle after puberty. So let's say you've been going to the gym and you built 20 pounds of muscle so far. Okay, now we have another 20 pounds of muscle that you can build, all right? Now, once you do that, for the rest of your life, you just maintain that amount of muscle, and maintenance is infinitely easier. It takes about 1/3 to maybe even 1/4 of your actual training volume that was needed to build the muscle. 1/4 of that, 1/4 of that is enough to maintain the muscle. In short, like 3 to 4 actual very hard, challenging sets per muscle group per week are enough to maintain the muscle. That's very easy to do. You can literally have one longer workout session per week, or maybe 2 45-minute sessions per week for the rest of your life, and maintain all that muscle. You will not be losing the muscle, okay? So it's much easier than building it. When you're building it, we have to have progression. We gotta eventually start working out 3 times a week and then 4, etc. Like, a lot of things have to be dialed in. Maintenance is much, much, much easier, okay? So we gotta be at maintenance calories, number 1. Number 2, we gotta be at basically enough training volume to maintain the muscle, which is very easy. That's number 2. And then number 3, we have to eventually figure out what are the other parts of that system, your steps, how many steps you're doing, your recovery, how much you're sleeping, all of these other things that basically are like the part of your healthy lifestyle that we need to build habits of and then automate. And then it all becomes just a second nature. You don't have to think about it. It's a part of you, right? So that's the simple 3 steps that you need to do in order to basically eat whatever you want and to get jacked and ripped and have 6-pack abs and a decent amount of muscle and an awesome, high-performing, high-energy physique and awesome-looking physique. And then it's much, much, much easier to maintain it. And let's take me, for example. So I eat about 3,500 calories on my off days. And let's say 32 to 100, let's say just over 3,000, like 32, 3,300 on my off days. And then about 3,500 to 4,000 on my training days. Okay, now please remember, guys, I'm very active. I do 12 to 15,000 steps every single day. In the gym in summer, I work out only twice a week because I just maintain the muscle, and then I mountain bike a lot. I'm a mountain biker. And then in the winter, because it's too cold and you can't bike, I probably go to the gym like 4 times a week because there's nothing else to do, right? So when you take all this together, it allows me to eat a huge, huge, huge amount of food to just maintain, because that's all I need. I don't need to lose more weight. I don't want to build any, I can't build much more muscle. Like, I've been training for a long time and I don't really care about it. They're like, oh, I got to put another inch in my bicep. I don't care. So basically maintaining my physique is very easy, and I get to eat 4,000 to 5,000 calories every single day, especially when I'm biking. So when I mountain bike, it's like 1,500 calories burned in like hour and a half, 2. And most of my rides are hour and a half to 2, probably 2 hours. So I burn like 1,500 calories easily over the 2 hours. When you add that to my other calorie expenditures, I get to eat more than 5,000 calories on every single day when I bike. And this is 4 to 5 times a week during the summer. So I eat enormous amounts of food. So when I put pictures of me eating pizza and then huge pancakes as a dessert, people are like, there's no way he's just taking pictures of this and not actually eating it. No, it's actually very simple. You know your numbers, you know how much you get to eat. And then, have you built a good amount of muscle? Yes. Okay. Then know that the more muscle you have, more carbs you get to eat, because muscle is very glucose receptors rich, right? It's the most richest tissue of glucose receptors, which means your body can actually handle and be totally okay with large amounts of carbs without any issues. This is, by the way, not true for people who are overweight and or have very little muscle. Okay, so please remember, the number 1 thing that allows you to eat more carbs is having more muscle, and 2 is being lean, and 3 is actually being more active, right? So there you go. So guys, these are the 3 simple steps you can do to get ripped and stay ripped for the rest of your life. Please remember that getting there is much harder than staying there, okay? Because to get ripped, you have to be in a calorie deficit, you have to work out, have progressive overload, like all of these things that really need to be dialed in, and that's what we do for our clients. We customize every single thing. And by the way, if you like this video, please click the subscribe button below and like and share it also. And one other thing, if you like this video, you're gonna love the absolutely free training tutorial that I got for you, that if you click on the link in the description below and put your name and email, and the next page is gonna show you the absolutely free video, A to Z, process that I used to transform myself 20 years ago, and then after that 1,200 clients in the last 14 years, like real actual people, not like, oh, I got blog followers. actual 1,200 human beings who are overweight, who are now in great shape. If you want to see some of the many testimonials that we have, please go to sevenfigurebody.com. You can see reviews there and a bunch of success stories. And if that sounds good, you can actually check out that video. There's a button there. You can click a red button on that page if you want to book a call so we can see if we are a good match. If you are a kick-ass successful entrepreneur and want to get in the best shape of your life, we might be a match. I'm not saying we are, but we might be. Anyways, also, if you click on that link and watch that video, I'm going to send you a completely free digital version of my book. This book sells for $25 on Amazon. A bunch of people have bought this book, read it, applied it, and got in amazing shape. That's all they did. Just applied what's in there. Everything is in here. You get it absolutely free when you click on that video. Give us your email address so I know exactly where to send it. You're going to get free digital version of this book. Guys, that's it for this video. Any questions you have about getting ripped or staying ripped, please post them in the comments below. I'd like to know. And if you like this video, again, like it, share it, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.